Look, I'm not gonna hold your hand and pat your back while whispering lies about how you are perfect just the way you are. No, we aren't feminine pussies. Let's face facts. You clicked on this video because you aren't happy with your current life. You feel like you're not reaching your full potential. And you know what? You're fucking right. Probably are lacking in some areas. You might not be turning heads when you walk into a room. It's okay, because here's the thing. Success isn't a trait you are born with. It's a skill, and it can be learned, honed, and mastered. But only if you're willing to put in the work. So if you are ready to make some serious changes and elevate yourself, well then you are in the right place. Let's get started. The first habit that helped me get my life together was weightlifting, which was the first productive thing I have ever done in my life at age 13. And maybe you've noticed this if you recently started, but it's a first building block that gets you to do other productive things. When I started at age 13, I was fat as shit and I was getting body shamed at school. So weightlifting was a beautiful, crucial thing for me. It gave me hope and optimism. I saw the path ahead of me and okay, I started weightlifting. As long as I never quit, I'll build my dream physique. I saw it as a guarantee, but it's all up to me. And so the first time in my life, I was looking forward to the future and thinking that I can do something today that will make my future better because I never really understood the importance of sacrificing today for tomorrow. Now, the second habit that helped me get my life together was learning. A few months after starting weightlifting, I started to look on ways to make money because it's kind of sad to say, but it was summer and none of my friends were hitting me up to do anything. So I was like, okay, if I'm not having fun, I might as well do something for my future. So I went to my library and picked out a couple books and watched the clickbait money YouTube videos that kind of helped me. But this changed my life because I actually started learning information that felt useful to me. My life changed because I read these books and watched those videos and followed the steps that it gave me. The third habit that changed my life is meditating. This was one of the first times in my life where I actually sat down without stimulating shit, and I remember struggling heavily at first because my attention span was so messed up and I needed more stimulation. But meditation became a beautiful thing and it became so consistent in my morning routine, just 5 to 10 minutes every single morning. So, what did meditation do for me? One of the first benefits I experienced from meditation was that it improved my diet. And I think it's because I started becoming more mindful. I didn't want to eat that junk that I usually ate, and I got so much more pleasure and enjoyment from eating healthy foods. I remember before I started meditating, I was struggling with mental illnesses like depression and anxiety and stress, so I was a big binge eater, and that's why I got so fat. Binge eating is when you just want to eat all the food around you, not until you are full, but until you feel fucking sick. And it's heavily related to poor mental health. And I believe that meditation is the single greatest thing you can do to improve on that. There are too many benefits of meditation that I can't fit into a single video, but it's just one of those things where it's a weird, vague thing where you're not 100% sure it's not working. But if I can give you some advice, it's to start meditating and follow a guided meditation. An app that I really like is called Medito, and it's completely free. And I'm not sponsored or anything, but there's beginner courses are amazing for people trying to get into meditating. Just start off with 3 minutes every single morning and slowly build your way up and just have this sort of perception that as long as I'm doing this, I'm going to be making progress and it will become clear to me soon in the future. Really relate yourself to the guy that works out for one day and looks in the mirror and complains that he isn't muscular yet. Well, yeah, you've been eating shit food and not exercising for your whole life. So to that guy, you would say stick with it for 3 months and then you'll start making progress. So for you, it's not that different. You've been fucking up your mental health with all this constant stimulation like social media and porn for years and years and years. So it's going to take a couple weeks, maybe months, for you to see some progress. And if most people meditate for 2 weeks, their life changes forever. The fourth habit that changed my life is journaling, specifically gratitude journaling. It's so simple. Just write down a few things you're grateful for every day. This puts you in a positive mindset because for once in your life, you actually sat there and not striving to want anything else in life. And you're not thinking about anything else. You are literally thinking about, okay, what am I happy about? What am I grateful for that is in my life? It's a very beautiful practice, and when you get more consistent, you'll find that you'll start expressing gratitude without even trying to. It's kind of like a skill, and the higher you level up this skill by simply writing down things or just expressing gratitude or thinking about what you're grateful for, the more that it will just naturally come in. Imagine you're just sat there one day and just randomly you get a random feeling of gratitude, like, oh yeah, I'm really grateful that I'm alive today with no health complications. It's a very beautiful thing. The fifth habit that changed my life is reading. I know that I already mentioned this in learning, but I think that reading and learning are the two most important things you will ever do as a young man. Reading is such a high value skill that over 95% of young men aren't actually doing. If you are watching this video right now and you don't currently read books, you're going to get destroyed. You're going to get dominated by another man who's reading. It's as simple as that. The woman that you want will be his. The money that you want will be his. The status that you want will be his. You choose. Stay in this lowly position in life, or like, oh, well, reading's dumb. Shut the fuck up. I get passionate about this because when you realize the return on investment of reading, and then you just see other men not reading, and they just destroy their brain with Netflix and anime, I just think to myself that there's a literal pathway to anything in life. It's all there in books. And all you just have to do is just read and implement those things that you have learned, and your life changes forever. And when people don't read, it honestly just pisses me off because I just think, why are you missing out on life? Reading is quite literally a 10 out of 10 activity, and I wouldn't preach about this so passionately if I didn't actually believe it. Reading starts off as a bit boring and tricky because your mind is so fucked and you can barely read a few sentences without your mind thinking of something else. But reading is also a skill. Right now you are at level 1 because in the real world, when you don't actively work on a skill, you lose experience. Look at yourself in the mirror and have this sort of hatred towards yourself and say, fuck, I can't even read. I can only read like 3 sentences before my mind wanders. I'm a fucking bitch. You need to have some aggression towards this and literally say to yourself, what a disgrace that I cannot and will not read. What a privilege it is to read and get the wisdom and knowledge from men better than us. And I choose not to read because it's not that fun, because it's hard. Slap some self-sense in yourself. Pick out a couple books and start reading for an hour a day for every single day of your life. It's that simple. This is literally how you become rich. Iman Gadzhi read a book a week when he was a teenager. There's no wonder why he's a multi-millionaire at age 23. Reading changed my life, and you don't have to take my word for it. Either you read and your life improves, or you don't and you stay like everyone else. What's interesting is that whatever's popular is usually wrong, but what I found is that the self-help books that are recommended by most people are actually really good, and I think it's because people who consistently read are in the top 5% anyway, so you know the same books that keep getting recommended by the people who read consistently, then you know it's a pretty good book. You don't have to find a weird niche book or anything. The sixth and final thing that changed my life is pretty weird, which is failing. I got into the habit of trying things and failing. Becoming successful is literally trying, then failing, and being okay with that failure, then learning from that failure and trying again. Most men in our generation have problems with this. I see perfectionism is through the roof. Most people think perfectionism is a good thing, but perfectionism is for pussies. If you are a perfectionist, you are a coward who is scared of stepping out of his comfort zone. So many people are scared to death by failure, and if you are scared of failure, you'll never become a successful man.